Black metal, melodic doom, modern metal, power metal, and so much more. This is out today in what I missed for May 10th, 2024. Let's get into it.
Oh, okay.
First up is the brand new album from Annette Olson with Rapture. This is everything that I expect from Annette Olson at this point. It's so catchy, it can get so dark and gothic-y. It's a good look at the state of the world right now through fantasy lyrics, but there is one exception on this album. She actually started to incorporate her husband to start doing some growls on this album. He was originally just doing bass before, but now he's doing growls. And some people are going to be turned off by this. I kind of look at this like the two James LaBrie albums that feature the drummer of Darkane doing growls, where I really enjoyed that kind of melodic death metal sound mixed in with the more poppier moments. That's going to be for a lot of people, although it's not going to be for some, but I highly recommend that if you enjoy her stuff at all, give this one a shot and see if it's for you.
It's the end of the world! God loves you! He's gonna kill you!
Up next is the debut album from Crownshift with their self-titled debut. Featuring past and present members of Children of Bodom, Fintroll, Winter Sun, and Migraine. This is kind of taking that approach that the Halo Effect had, where they didn't want to necessarily do everything that they've done in the past, although that's going to sprinkle through no matter what they do, but they wanted to create something more catchy, more melodic, something that more people would be able to get into than what they've done in the past. And I think they've absolutely done that here. This album is super melodic. It's got a lot of clean vocals, which you wouldn't necessarily imagine, but then again, you have the vocalist from Migraine, who does such a magnificent job with clean vocals. You also mix that in with a lot of great catchy moments, stellar production, and of course, all the sums of its whole being so perfect for what this album and band is all about. This album rules, and I can't wait to see what's next.
She's the queen of the harpies.
No, I'm
queen
not.
of the harpies.
No, I'm not.
Here's your crown, your majesty.
Get away from
Queen
me,
of the harpies.
swine.
Next up is Freedom Call with Silver Romance. And if you know anything about Freedom Call, you know they're one of the most fun, positive, inclusive bands in all of metal. They just want everyone to be able to enjoy the powers of metal, and Silver Romance is no exception. It's what Freedom Call does best. All the songs are super fun, super catchy, has a lot of heart, has that inclusion feeling behind it. It's everything that you would want from a Freedom Call album. And in 2024, when everything feels so doomy, gloomy, and potentially the apocalypse in the air, we need something to put a smile on our face. And if you can get that kind of smile on your face through a fun power metal album and a fun power metal band, no band does that better than Freedom Call. Give this one a shot if you're not familiar with them, and if you are familiar with them, this is another one to add to the collection.
But tonight I say, we must move forward, not backward, upward, not forward, and always twirling, twirling, twirling towards freedom.
Up next is Riot V with Mean Streets. And this is a return to form for Riot that I haven't seen before in a lot of bands. Every song on this album rules, and it just has that patented Riot V style going on with it. Of course, if you're not familiar with the band, they were originally known as Riot, then some stuff happened and now they're Riot V, but also at the same time they captured that spirit of what they did all the way back in the 70s, but here in 2024, it's got the fast double bass stuff going on, it's got those somber ballads going on, it just hits everything that you look for in this band. It is that heavy metal, almost power metal, thrash metal kind of stuff going on. Proto to all of that, but that pure, fun, heavy metal sound. And if you're looking for that, look no further than Riot V.
Hey, have you seen Sully?
Get away from there! Hey, I need that pencil.
Up next is a band I believe is called Sin Eater. Although it could be Sun Eater, but I think it's Sin Eater with Never Again. The third album from this BC black metal band is everything that I'm looking for in this style of black metal. It contains kind of that first and second wave black metal sound combined. Like, you hear elements of Bathory, you also hear elements of Mayhem, but it's also done with a 21st century twist in there. So you'll hear some bands like 1349 or Watain, or dare I say, even something like Death Heaven? But seriously, I love what's going on here. It just sounds dark, evil. It's the anti-Christian, nearly satanic sound that you would expect from the proto-black metal bands. There's not much more you can ask for in a band like this. This absolutely rules.
Mark, just about everything is a sin. You ever sat down and read this thing? Technically, we're not allowed to go to the bathroom.
Up next is Two Wolves with Not Worth It. This Finnish band contains the perfect elements of melodic doom metal and melodeath combined together. I hear equal elements of Paradise Lost and Saturnus that I do from Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum. There is so much to love about this depressing style of music that they got going on. And after 5 albums, the band just continues to refine their sound and continue to make some of the best material that they've ever done. It's so dark, it's so heavy, I love the production style on this. It can get into the blast beat territory, it can get into the slowest, doomiest moments that you can imagine, and everything in between. It's that dark, melodic sound that we all know and love right from Finland. And if that's what you're looking for right now, I highly recommend Two Wolves.
Inside you, there are 2 wolves.
Well, that's everything I heard that came out today, so what did I miss?
What I miss?
First up is Baron with Beneath the Blazing Abyss. This is a debut album from Finland that combines some of the most crushing doom and some of the most brutal death metal combined. I love what's going on here. It sounds like that classic death metal sound of that 90s HM2 pedal sound, you know, the metal boss zone, but also it combines some of that great doom that you really expect from Finland, from something, well, anywhere in Scandinavia. Like, you combine something like Cult of Luna, you combine something like Shape of Despair, it's all mixed together here. And you combine that with just that heavy 90s old school death metal sound, you have an amazing album. And if you're a fan of either side, you might get turned on to the other side as well too when you check out this album. A magnificent debut album. I can't wait to see what's next.
You're out there somewhere, Beer Baron, and I'll find you.
No, you won't.
Next is Broom with Martin. This is the third album from the San Francisco outfit, and it is stunning in its brilliance. That's also a bit vaudeville, wacky, and perfect doom all at the same time. What I mean by all of this is, imagine a band like Sub Rosa also teaming up with a band like Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum, also wanting to make something that's some really vaudevillian doom. It seems so strange on paper, but when you listen to it, you know exactly what it's going for. It feels like something that you would listen to into a cabaret club in hell. It's just something that is so intriguing to me, and I'm still trying to wrap my mind around what's going on here. I will say I love the music, I love the production, the vocal performances from every vocalist involved is astounding, and I hope people will check this one out.
Brilliant. I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Next up is Chalice of Doom with Eclipse. Starting off as a full band from the country of Jordan, and now it is a one-man operation from Sweden. This band has taken some time off and really found what they're looking for in their sound. They are an odd mix. Half of the album feels like it's pure, unadulterated melodic death metal with full-on orchestration. It feels like a mix of Winter Sun, Flesh God Apocalypse, and Obscura, all mixed together. The other half of the album is some dark, barren, melodic doom that feels a lot like the bands like Saturnus, I just love what's going on here. It kind of feels odd with the shifts that it does where one song's super fast and one's super slow, but if that doesn't matter to you, I highly recommend this album. I love everything that's going on with this album, and hey, if you like those genres, you might as well.
Tonight at 11.
Doom!
Next up is From Dying Suns with Calamity. This is the debut album from this BC metal band that combines the best of melodeath, metal black, and of course, Black Dahlia worship. This is that patented style of North American melodeath, metal black that the Black Dahlia Murder really patented when they were in their best moments. It's also so much more than that as well. It's very video game inspired. It feels like you're trapped in a Metroidvania. It feels like you're deep into Dracula's castle on the original Castlevania, and the only way out is to escape. This is the perfect soundtrack for that, and being able to blend their own spices into this Black Dahlia Murder worship style is fantastic stuff here. And I can just imagine from every album going forward, they're really gonna keep focusing in on their sound and expanding it in ways you can't even imagine. But until then, Calamity is far from being an actual calamity.
Totally awesome video game.
Next up is Glassing with The Other Side of the Mirror. Now this is an album everyone was going gaga over last month, and I simply just never got to hear it until now. And I'm so happy that I did get to check it out, as I understand why everyone was loving this album so much. Imagine a blend of Death Heaven and Torch making experimental blackened sludge. It sounds so strange, doesn't it? But it works so perfect in execution. It's some of the best black metal and black gaze that I've heard this year. It's some of the best sludge that I've heard this year. And you add in those hardcore and experimental moments that you just don't see coming, and this makes it a very exciting album to check out from start to finish. It is something that you really have to go into with an open mind or else you're not going to get it, but the more you listen to it, the more it'll start to make sense and unlock for you. It is well worth all of the struggle that it might take to get into this album, because it really is that good.
Yeah, I looked in the mirror this morning, and it was like I was looking at a man I'd never seen before.
Hi, Scott Bakula.
And finally, we have The Monarch with A Moment to Lose Your Breath. The sophomore album sees an almost total lineup change except for the drums, featuring past and present members of Malevolent Creation, Fear Factory, Soulfly, and Mutiny Within, creating some of the most melodic and catchy metal that you're gonna hear in 2024. Of course, with everyone in this band, they almost teeter on the edge of what they're best known for, be it that they don't get into it, and that's what makes it work, because it gets people that really aren't into those styles potentially into those styles listening to The Monarch. And of course, the real standout of all of this is one of my favorite singers, Chris Clancy of Mutiny Within and Wearing Scars, doing his magnificent cleans and his great screams over all of it. Every song on here is super catchy. There are some segue tracks on here that might not be for everybody, and this is going to rank very, very high in the top albums of 2024.
Lord, thy daughters, Goneril, Regan, and Cordelia.
What is this, Merry Old England or Petticoat Junction? Hey, lighten up, it's a comedy.
No, it's not.
It's not!
And there you go, folks. 12 brand new albums from 2024. 6 of them out today. 6 I've missed along the way. Did you have any favorites here? Do you have any ones that you're never going to listen to? Is there anything that I missed out? Do I just have a terrible taste in music? Let me know all of that down below. And of course, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And until next week, when we talk about albums from May 17th, 2024, for Heavy Debriefings, this is Josh Runquist saying, embrace the skullet.
Well, that's the end of me.